Getting back to the sentence. I used to live in Dublin. I lived there for 10 years. Why can't I use the past perfect continuous here? Let's compare it with this example. I used to live in Dublin. I had been living in Dublin for 10 years when I decided to move to Stockholm. So I stopped living in Dublin at that time. There must be an interrupting action or an action that stopped a certain action from happening over a period of time. And the rules. The Intermediate Grammar book by Murphy. We'd been playing tennis for about half an hour when it started to rain heavily. Let's see what happens if we remove the interrupting action. We played tennis for about half an hour, full stop. Or, the past continuous is also possible for short actions. We were playing tennis for about half an hour. The interrupting action can be mentioned first. For example, George went to the doctor last Friday. He hadn't been feeling well for some time. If we remove the interrupting action, it will be George didn't feel well for some time, or George wasn't feeling well for some time. The past continuous is only possible here because the action is short. To sum up, an action lasts in the past over a period of time and there is no action that interrupted it. Use the past simple for longer actions like lived, worked, and the past continuous for short actions. And if you describe an action that lasted over a period of time before it was interrupted by another action, use the past perfect continuous. If you want to remember these rules better, it's highly recommended to do the exercises in the links below. Goodbye. What? Are you still here? Let me guess, you want to know about the past perfect. In those cases we mentioned, the past perfect is used instead of the past perfect continuous with stative verbs. They are verbs like, love, want, know, prefer, own, and others. For example, it would be wrong to say, he had been knowing Alice for 10 years, because know is a stative verb, so I need to switch to the past perfect and say, he had known Alice for 10 years when she moved to Australia and they lost touch. Or another example, they broke up in June. It would be wrong to say, they had been being happy for 2 months. That's why I need to change it to the past perfect and say, they broke up in June. Before that, they had been happy for 2 months. That's all for today. Goodbye, and remember to do the exercise.